I'm sorry, but I hate to break it to you. Because the truth is that you will never feel good enough. And I will never feel good enough. And none of us, we're never ever going to feel good enough. And what do I mean by this? Is that if you were to take a second to pause and to think about what exactly is even the feeling of like being good enough. When is it ever good or when is it ever enough? And if I felt good, then is that enough? Or even worse, what if I'll never ever feel good enough? Then does that mean that I will never be able to experience a deep sense of joy? Because a lot of the times, I know a lot of us, we've been told that, like, once you are able to get yourself to feel that deep sense of, I'm finally good enough, then only then you'll be able to achieve a deep sense of joy in your life. So if I'll never feel good enough, then does that mean that I will never be able to experience the joy that life has to offer? And it's like I've been waiting for this moment where one day I'll just wake up and be overwhelmed by this strong sense of, oh my God, I'm finally good enough. And, I've fantasized about that day, imagine how it would feel like to finally wake up and to be able to feel that deeply, feel that I am worthy, I am so good on my own and I don't need anyone, like one day I will wake up feeling that way. But over time, I feel like I just got tired of hoping that that day will arrive because it feels like it's never gonna ever happen. Yet I kept forcing myself that, like, no, this day will come, you just have to keep working on yourself, keep pushing through life, focus on yourself, focus on your goals. And you're just like one moment or one experience away from waking up and feeling like you're finally good enough. You will one day, maybe tomorrow or like next week or next month, you will finally meet those people that are finally going to make you feel like they're going to make you feel seen, they're going to make you feel heard, and you're going to feel good enough. Or you're going to achieve this level of success, and then you're going to wake up with this deep, newfound sense of worthiness and all of this amazing, incredible fantasies I've built up in my head and so desperately been wanting for it to happen and to manifest into my reality, essentially. But that day just never came my way, and I can't lie that I am getting sick of like waiting for that day. Now, do I believe that it will never happen? I don't know. But one thing that I know for sure is that nothing external to me will be able to make me feel good enough. And this is the reason, essentially, why you'll never be good enough. Is because when you think about it, like, your soul is something that's immeasurable. And by telling it to be good enough, what you're essentially doing is that you're trying to fit your soul into measurable concepts like goodness or enoughness. And when you're just trying to desperately fit your soul into these boxes of enoughness or goodness, it just cannot find a way to do it not because it doesn't want to. Your soul wants to feel good, but it's not able to feel that. And your soul is just refusing to do so, and not because it doesn't want to, but it just can't do it. Your soul cannot fit itself into humanly concepts of goodness and enoughness. And we can do a lot of greatness without knowing our greatness, the same way the sun is able to generate warmness without even feeling its warmness, but it knows that it's able to do it. And that's the same way that we should learn to try trust that our greatness exists somewhere beyond us. And even if it exists somewhere beyond us, essentially it is still within us. And you just have to try and trust that you have this greatness lying somewhere within you that is also beyond you, even if there is completely no evidence of your greatness, Because the truth is, you can still do so much good to this world without knowing your greatness, with being completely blind to what you're good at or your powers. And the same way the sun is able to still continuously generate light and warmness to this world, even if it has no clue that it's able to do it and it has not witnessed its own greatness, that's essentially the same with us. We are capable of doing so much good to this world even without being able to witness our greatness, and that is because our greatness is just simply something that's so beyond us. But we have to learn to trust that even if it is beyond us, it still lies deeply within our souls. And once you're able to trust that your greatness lies somewhere within you, you just have to tell yourself to continue to shine your light no matter what. Because you'll never be able to be certain of your greatness, because how can you be certain about something that you'll never be able to witness, nor do you have any evidence of it? So there's no way of you to be certain about something that's essentially there's not much evidence for it. And not because there isn't any evidence. Maybe you're just not able to see it. You're blinded to it. And that's fine, because even if you're blinded to your greatness, you can still... And it's unfair to apply concepts of matter to something like your soul. Now I understand why this phrase of feeling good enough has gotten so popularized. It's because we're all essentially trying to feel a little more worthy than we are feeling at the moment, and to gain that sense of self-worth that we've been craving for our entire life. And it's hard to face life feeling like a complete failure or loser, right? It sucks, because no matter what you do, you just never end up feeling good about anything, about yourself, about your experiences, and it just kind of bleeds onto all other areas of your life. Because if you don't feel good about yourself, then you're going to struggle feeling good about someone else or anything in general. And it makes a lot of sense why we so deeply crave to feel this, this feeling of good enoughness. And because we think that it will give us this huge sense of relief that we've been needing for a long, long time. And since we're feeling all of these emotions, what we end up doing is we end up just seeking for validation at any given moment in any way possible. We try to seek for that external validation, and we hate that we're seeking for this, but we can't help but to still seek for it anyways, because we just don't know any better. What else are we supposed to do, And when you're in that state of mind, you just end up running around and seeking this external validation, and you can't slow down because your mind it's just gotten so used to running that extra mile to sort of gain that sense of validation. So essentially in your mind, you're just moving on from one situation to another. You're just running around this circle, this loop, this never-ending loop of wanting to gain validation, and you don't even let yourself to stop or to pause for a second, because before it was something that you just sort of did consciously, and now it's just gotten so habitual, it's become a habit, to run the extra mile, to prove to others that you're good enough, so you can finally get that sense of validation that you've been craving for your entire life. But when we've gotten so used to running from moment to moment, like from situation to situations, like when you don't allow yourself to pause, you're gonna miss out on moments that actually is able to make you feel that deep sense of goodness. Enoughness, I don't know, but it can make you feel good. But you don't allow yourself to even rest or to pause between the situations. And you're not even able to recognize that, oh, this person or this situation, actually it has left me feeling a lot better than I did before. But you're not able to gain that insight or gain that feeling, because before you know it, your mind is already focused on the next situation or the next moment. And it's like, okay, what can I do now? What can I do next to gain validation? Your mind does not allow you to sit in the moment and to reflect and to be like, okay, I feel better. No, you're totally focused on to the next situation and what you can do this time to gain that validation that you've been seeking for. And when this happens, what ends up happening is that you end up feeling that, why have I been running around this loop and doing this and that and bending over backwards and doing all this crazy stuff, or not so crazy stuff, but I've been working so hard, and why have I not gained that validation? Why have I not gained that approval? It's not because you've not gained it, it's just because you've not even given space or time to even reflect on situations to be able to gain that insight of, oh, this has left me feeling good. And above all of that is that we're not even in tune with our emotions, and the feeling of goodness, essentially, it lies within our emotions, right? When you're so disconnected, when you're just focused onto the next thing, and you're just in this go energy, you're not allowing yourself to feel good. You're not even giving yourself the space to feel good. So forget about good enough. We are not even able to feel good. So when we talk about enoughness, which one are we essentially referring to? And for this context, let's go with the first one, which is having as much or as many of something required. So essentially, to have enough or to have as much of something required, is it about what the soul needs, or is it more towards what the ego requires or needs? And essentially, I mean, it's fair to say that our ego is very much focused on superficial things, which are essentially things that will never leave us feeling truly satisfied. So maybe let's just go with what the soul needs. So what does the soul need? How are we even able to tap into what our soul needs? Is that even possible? Since the soul is just something so beyond us, how do we grasp it and be aligned with it to be able to question our soul, like, so what do you need? Because without doing that, I think it's almost impossible to feel good enough, to be able to connect with yourself on a deeper level. In other words, to be able to connect with your soul over time. Question yourself, what do I need? And as much as I think that that's going to give us a profound answer, I just don't think it's possible, because I think we're just going to end up questioning our ego that lies within our mind. And the ego is going to tell you a long list of what you need. But is it entirely impossible to connect with your soul? Definitely not. And that's one way to know that you've deeply connected with your soul, because when you be able to deeply connect with your soul and you ask your soul what you need, it's not gonna say anything. Because the soul does not need anything. The ego needs everything. And if you're able to gain that moment of like sitting with yourself and just asking yourself, what do I need? And you feel that so deep in your heart, you don't need anything. And that's when you know you're deeply connected with your soul. If you're not able to do that, what is the other best option? I think it's again coming back to that feeling of surrender, just to surrender to your soul and to be like, I understand, I acknowledge that I will not be able to gain that insight of what my soul needs because it's just so within me and it's so beyond me at the same time. And it's, I'm struggling, my mind is struggling to tap into my soul and to figure out what it needs. And when I don't know what my soul needs, I keep feeding it stuff it doesn't need, and I end up not feeling good because I'm giving it, stuff that it does not even want or need in the first place. So how am I going to feel good? And when you understand that maybe I'm not able to question what my soul needs, and that's okay. Maybe I don't know what I need. So that's the time for you to sort of surrender to your soul and to trust that it knows what it's doing even when you don't know what's happening and you don't know what you're doing. Because let's be honest, a lot of times we don't even know what we're doing. Like right now I'm recording this video, I don't even know what I'm doing. It's like, yeah, I'm recording right here, but like what am I actually doing? And that's totally fine. It's totally fine to just surrender to your soul and to believe that it knows what it's doing, even if that's so difficult to do because our mind, we love to control and to predict and to know everything and to cling on to everything, to attach ourselves onto every single thing and to feel safe. And that's just the way we are, and that's fine, but don't expect to gain any happiness out of that. One thing that I remind myself of is like when I struggle to believe that my soul exists somewhere out there or somewhere within me, I tell myself that my mind and my body is just it's just fragments of my soul, and if my mind and body exist, then my soul has to exist. Because my mind and my body is just an extension of my soul. Because I don't think that my mind and my body is able to conceptualize my mind and my body. So I trust that my soul is somewhere out there, sort of. It's guiding me and it's bringing me somewhere that I don't know. Because it's like when you feel miserable deep down inside, the last thing you want to do is to just be like, I surrender. Because like when we think of surrendering, we can mistaken it for like giving up. Okay, I give up. I don't know this. I don't want to know. I will never know, so I give up. But giving up and surrendering, it can feel very similar, but it's not the same. Because I think with like giving up, there's like this, you're like coming from a place of negativity. You're like kind of being like, I don't care, I want to know. But like with surrendering, you're like, I care, I want to know, but I know I won't, and that's okay. So like, yeah, what I'm trying to say is that we should try to shift our feelings of wanting to give up into surrendering, into being like, instead of I don't want to know, I don't care, just be like, I want to know, I do care, but I won't know, and that's okay, because my soul knows what it's doing even when I don't know what I'm doing. And I trust that it will lead me somewhere. And it can be somewhere promising or somewhere that I don't want to go. and I will never know, and that's fine. I'm as scary as that sounds or feels. I feel like it's okay that I don't know. So surrender to that feeling of surrendering and hope that something beautiful will come by you surrendering to the unknown. And I just hope that everything will work out for you. But before ending this video, I want to select a card from this meditation deck that I have, and whatever I select, like, I want to practice it together with all of you. So let's see what I get. Well, let's just put it this way. Okay. So the card that we got is Focused Attention, Induce Mindfulness and Improve Focus. So this card says, sit comfortably and choose a target for your focus. Your breathing is an ideal choice since it is easy to observe. So ideally, choose to focus on your breathing and just observe the details of the focus, the rising and the falling of the chest and abdomen with each inhale and exhale, the sound of breathing, etc. Make these observations without judging them and always bring the attention back to the focus, even though the mind will frequently wander. Do this for at least 10 minutes. So let's try to do it together. Maybe not for 10 minutes, but we can try to do it for as long as we can. So I want you to just sit comfortably, whatever position is fine, and to just close your eyes. And to just focus on your breath while slowly inhaling and exhaling. Make it as slow as possible. To a point where you're not able to even listen to your breath. Thank you so much for being here today. See you guys in my next video.